to Eastern Plains, Colorado, here on McCaffrey Farms. Today is Saturday, May 7th. It's about 6 o'clock. Right now, Dad and I are out here some hay. We've sold a lot of hay to a couple neighbors, and there's been a few other guys we posted on Facebook Marketplace, hay for sale. And we've actually got a lot of people that have bought some, and I think it's basically all sold what we have left. We even had a few people ask if we're going to be doing more next year, so that's good because we're going to have like 600 acres. Hopefully it does good and we have a lot of hay to sell, because we probably have a lot of hay that we could sell before it's even planted. But we're gonna load some up. There's a guy north of Eckley that's buying some. Right now, Dad's just trying to get everyone at least one load to get started before everything gets busy. And he's gonna try and get that done today before it gets too windy. So I am back down here at the 4640. I am getting this John Deere 1800 monitor out of here. This is the monitor that we use for baling. We got it, I want to say 2011 when we bought the baler brand new. This is the monitor that came with it. That's why it ended up working out pretty good, the planter we bought, because it was set up for John Deere monitors like this. And so we just had to get a wiring harness to hook up to the planter for the 8400, and so we already had this. We didn't have to buy an extra screen, but I'm gonna get this out, put it in the 8400, get the harness hooked up, and then might see if we can hook up to the planter, try and start doing a few things, get it ready. It'll still be a little while before we plant, because what we're gonna start out is on Grandpa's circle of corn down south. So if it got more rain down there, it's still going to be far too wet anyways. And then I think the plan is start off with my Milo 265 acres, because I have my own seed and I only have 14 bags, so we're going to be putting all the bags in anyways, using them all. So we figured we'd do mine first. We won't have to do it midway and try and figure out what was left of Dad's seed or clean it out an extra time that we really don't need to. So that's gonna be why we do it that way, because once you open the bags you can't return them. So if I'm gonna be opening them all anyways, if there's some left over, that it'll be what it'll be. Got that monitor in, so that's what it'll look like. I don't have the power plugged in, but we will hook this connector here, that 3 prongs, and then we need to get the female adapter on the corn planter. We had to take it off when we set our cultivator up for fertilizer, get that working, but then be able to plug the fertilizer control box in, which is this one here. Then this is our folding and unfolding. Once we plug the planter in, all of that will be already plugged in and everything ready to go. We'll just have to put it to the power, and then we'll be ready, and then we can start getting that ready. Got 1 or 2 fertilizer parts we need to put on. Need to kind of clean it up a little bit, get it back going again, do a little bit of work to it. It should be good. We'll need to put the corn plates in with the corn knockers, and then I don't know how long that'll take. We'll just have to see. Like I said, we'll put those tanks on. They go up front here and here, and then get the hoses put on, so then that way we can get it tied up and everything. Well, we might wait to put the hoses on until we get done with anhydrous, so then that way those aren't on. But that'll be a plan once Dad gets back. I don't know what I'm gonna do until then. Like I said, it's too wet to go out and do anhydrous right now. Still needs a little bit. We do have some liquid here in this trailer. It's something called Maximum Impact. It's like, I guess it's a foliar feed type thing. It's gonna be used for the wheat. We got the chemical to spray it here soon. I don't know, Justin's got some stuff to do for a neighbor, and then he might try and do ours. So we're gonna put that on, I think like 2 gallon an acre. I don't know how much N is in there per gallon or whatever. I think it's supposed to be fairly good. It helps the chemical kill the weeds better. They sense the nitrogen that's in it, and the chemical bonds to that nitrogen, I guess. And so then when it takes in that nitrogen, it also takes in the chemical. And our rep says what he's seen it used on with chemical, so it's made a huge difference. And it also acts as a fertilizer. There's already 1 dose of fertilizer on it, but last year Justin did some top dressing for someone else that was a little bit behind, and they miscalculated their acres. There's about 100 acres worth of fertilizer left, so when he sprayed the chemical last year on the one field, he put in, ended up being an extra like 2 gallon of fertilizer per acre, and that field did like 11 bushel better. It was probably the best field we have, and so I mean it was probably gonna be a little bit better anyways, but it started off just a little bit better anyways, I think, and then it was where it was a little bit better from that extra fertilizer that the other fields didn't get, is a little more green and still filling the heads when we got some later rains, whereas the other fields were already maturing and done filling and everything. So hopefully by doing this, it'll get us a little bit extra yield. It doesn't really cost too much. I mean, everything kind of costs a lot this year, but hopefully what little we are paying for that will make up for extra yield that we hopefully get. It'll all come down to what rain we get, but hopefully if we do get rain, that'll help a lot and make us some better wheat. Welcome back. It is now Sunday the 9th, I believe, or 8th. 8th or 9th. Sunday the 8th or 9th. But we just got the tanks put on. That one took a while. We realized once we got the first 2 or 3 bolts on, I think the steps right there, we need to take them off because the step on the tank kind of catches on them. But we got them on, got this one on, and now we are hooking up to the planter. We're gonna pull it forward just a little bit to get some more room to work on it, and then we'll probably set it back down because we need to run some water through these tanks to kind of clean them out. They got a little bit of dirt in them, not bad, but we're gonna do it so then we can get it raised up and down, just make sure it's gonna work. And we need to do a little bit of work to the fertilizer system, and then just generally check over it. There's a few trash whipper bearings I think we need to change. Then just look at all the openers and everything, make sure they're all good, and go from there. So that's what's on the agenda for today. It's almost noon, so we'll probably go eat lunch real quick. I don't know if we can quite get it all done today. It'd be nice, because then that way it'll be ready for when we can start planting. Dad'll have to finish anhydrous the circle first, but it'd be nice to be able to get it done, get it all set up and ready to go. Then that way, Monday and Tuesday while I'm not here, if Dad can start planting corn, we can start planting corn. But what I just went through and did on this was, this is where we can set up all of our rates. So this should be the Milo. This will be the Grandpa's circle of corn, the corn here at the house, and then this will be my corn. The reason I'm doing 10,000 is it's dry land on CRP, so I'm not expecting a whole lot out of it and expecting it to do good. And with as dry as we are, I think it's gonna be better to go a little lighter on the rate for mine. So we're gonna do 10,000. That's kind of what our seed salesman suggested. So in that way, there's not as many plants fighting for water, and that might just give it a little bit of a better chance to succeed. So that's my thinking there. Then Dad's only gonna do 20,000 on his circle. It's not near as good. 34,000. We did roughly 32 last year, and I feel like it did pretty good, but we could have had a little bit more. So gonna do 34,000 to increase the plants per acre. Then hopefully that'll get us a little bit more corn, maybe a little bit more yield. We'll just have to see. Like I said, I think we had more room to go, so we'll just see. So now we'll get I'll just kind of try and get it set up. This we gotta go through, put in what corn disc we're gonna use, just so it knows how to calculate it. So we'll go through that and then start running through the planter after lunch. Welcome back. Today is now Wednesday the 11th. Wednesday the 11th. I'm working on the corn planter right now. Dad's gotten a lot done while I was gone Monday and Tuesday. He got finished with the anhydrous applicator, went through the gauge wheels, all that stuff. Right now we're just finishing up some fertilizer stuff. Once again, we had to get 2 new pumps. I think because we didn't clean it out, fertilizers at the pumps we got last year and ruined them. So we're redoing that, changing the fertilizer system up a little bit. And Dad just going through the last few things. Still need to run some water through tanks on the tractor. Not too much other stuff. We're gonna have to run to Kirk to get some fittings and a few other things, but as of right now we don't have too much left to do. Alright, so don't mind the wind, hopefully you can still hear me. I got these pumps on, wired in. We got these fittings on each side. And right there. What that's gonna be for is the pressure gauges to see what we're doing. We normally just had one up in front of the tank because last year the way it was is both pumps would run up to here, go through here, and then it'd go into one, so we only needed one. However, I think that's what's kind of restricting us only to 10.5 gallon, which this year we're only going to be running 10 gallon anyways. But what we're going to be doing is, instead of having it come back through here and then down this hose, we're just going to cut this hose here and bring it right here and do it to where this pump runs 9 through 16 and that pump runs 1 through 8. Hopefully in the future that will be able to get us more fertilizer flow, but we're just doing that. Maybe it'll be a little easier on the pumps, but we want to have 2 pressure gauges, and that way if this pump fails we know it and we can get it replaced again before we finish it. This 8 rows doesn't have any fertilizer to it, so that's the thing behind that. We need to go get some fittings to go into here that will go into these. Then I think once we cut this hose and get it to where it goes directly out there from the pumps, we just need to take this whole bracket off and all that should pull out. We'll be done. Dad's running water through the big tanks. I don't know how much else we have to do. Dad got all the corn plates in, corn knockers in. I don't know how much else we need to do, so we're gonna go get those fittings here soon and then go from there, and hopefully after lunch or maybe a little before we can start planting corn. I don't know, we'll see. Lunchtime. It's actually 5:30 right now. About 5.5 hours later than I kind of wanted to be trying to head down to the field. We finally got it. Spent most of the afternoon trying to figure out how to get this thing to full. Not because I don't know how to, but because it didn't want to. I don't know what was wrong with it, but just behind the big tank on the planter, there's a bunch of solenoids, kind of where the main hydraulic functions happen, I guess, so to say. There's like 8 or 9 solenoids on the one block, and they have like a diagram showing which one's which, what they do. I found the 2 that said that they are to do with folding, I had a knife in my hand. I tapped on it a couple times, got in the tractor, and it folded up right away. Guess should have did that sooner. Still not going to be able to quite plant time we get down there though. The vacuum tube hoses that actually run from the main big vacuum tube down to the individual seed meters. We have 2 of them that were cracked and had big holes in them. We ordered 2. We got the wrong ones. So we called in, we measured them, said we need ones that are 48 inches long, I think. Place in Ray has them, but where it's 5:30, they're gonna have to leave them in the drop box. Mom, I think, is on her way home from somewhere. She was already in Ray once, but she's gonna, I think she's gonna be able to go get those. I don't know. We're gonna head down, get it filled with seed. Dad's got the seed on the pickup. Redford's down there with a fertilizer trailer. We have the fertilizer at section 21 at the store building and some cone bottoms. So he went ahead of me, so that way he can start filling it while I get it unfolded and everything, and I can always start filling it with seeds. So that's the plan for now. We got 58 bags. It's 5191. I believe it's something fairly similar to the 5120 we planted here last year. It's just, I think, a triple stack. Then that way I think we can also kind of take care of if there's any volunteer corn out here. I think, I don't know, but probably gonna start off putting 2 bags in each and then go from there. I think that's what I did last year, because I think 58 bags is like a little over 3.5 bags a box, and I know we cannot fit that many bags in each box, so we're just gonna put 2 in for now and we'll go from there. Maybe get 2.5, I don't know, we'll see. Dad's having to run back home. He got down to the cone bottom tanks out of gas, flat out of gas. Today's been a real great first day of corn planting, real great. Hopefully tomorrow goes better, but yeah, got to load a little bit. We'll put some corn seed in. Maybe time I get that done, Dad will be back with fertilizers. Got some corn in the ground, finally. It's May 12th. Would have liked to have it done a little earlier in May, but we're getting there. Got just about 11 acres done. Trying to get the fertilizer dialed in. I think for the first little bit we're going a little heavy. We'd like to be fairly close to 10.5. I mean, if we go a little bit over, a little bit under, it wouldn't be too bad, but we also don't want to be putting on like 13 gallon. It's already going to cost a decent amount to just to do 10.5, so add a few gallon over. I don't even know how many acres we're doing this year total, but yeah, 2 or 3 gallon an acre, it's going to be a decent amount more, and we don't really want that right now. But plus the mix that we have is kind of set up for 10.5 gallon on how much nitrogen, potassium, phosphorus. I think we have some zinc. One other thing, I don't know. I'm not entirely sure. I can't remember off the top of my head what the mix was, but it's kind of set up for 10.5. So we kind of like to be as close to that as possible. But as of now, we're getting corn in the ground. If you look at the average population, it's right around that 34,000. For some reason, this planter, we've always had to mess with it goofy on our seed rate. Have to have a little under, a little over, but right now it's about where we want it, so that's good. I just crossed 55 acres done, so I'm getting pretty darn close to being done with this half. It's going good. As you can see, I've got the population, well, if you could see, I've got the population fairly close to 34,000. It's been running mostly here the last few passes between 34 and 35,000, which is good for irrigated corn like this on this good of a well, a little bit more than what you want might be a little bit better, might be a little more yield, but so far it's going decent. When I started this pass, I just switched to the front tanks. There's about 400, little under, worth of fertilizer, and those had right at 600 gallon, fairly close. In this one there might be 25 gallon left, and where I was at the time it came to like 10.7, 10.8. so I think we've got the fertilizer dialed in pretty good, so hopefully that's the case. And now that we got the seed going, maybe it'll be about where we want it. Moment of truth. On the first pass of this second half, Dad said he has it set up where I should be able to sneak right by the pivot, not lift up, not go around, nothing. Shouldn't have to hit. What do we say? Is it gonna work? I think it looks like it will. Based off my last row here, looks like it's got enough space. Have to see just how close Dad likes to plant to it. Hopefully not too close. Oh yeah, we got plenty of space. Plenty of space. I should be needing seeds soon. We'll have to see. I think with roughly what it should be planting, and instead it's been planting, I should be running out of seeds somewhat soon, but we will see. All right, I'm going to make my way back over to the Dodge with the seed on it. I'm getting fairly close, and I just had row 14, I think, came up not planting, so I went back and looked. Sure enough, there's a few boxes that are empty. Some are planting a little heavier than others. Some aren't planting as much, and so there's some boxes that are still fairly full, and others that I think like 4 that are basically completely empty. So first, I think what I'm gonna do is just open a couple bags. I'm not gonna open many, because like I said, I don't have many left, and I don't want to be opening too many bags. So I might just open 1 or 2 and pour them in, and then try and get some of them a little more equal. Take some out of the ones that are planting heavier, put it into the ones that are planting heavier. Like I said, just try and minimize how many bags we actually open, because then we can return more of them. So I'm going to go do that real quick, then hopefully here soon, next 2 hours or so, depending on how long it takes me to shuffle seed, to run the planter out. Hopefully we'll be done with this and probably just take it back up to the house so we can park it somewhere out of the wind and empty it out, switch it over to Milo. I'll probably have to take a final exam, which should be my last one, then I'll be done with school for this semester. Then might try and do it where first thing in the morning it'll come down and get started on my Milo, because I'll only have 265 and it's right together, so it should be fairly easy for me to get that done. And then maybe even some of Dad's started here on section 5 and 8 that we have, like 48 acres, 2 48-acre strips or something like that. So if everything goes good, we should be able to move right along with planting. We'll see. 6 mile an hour, 40 foot wide is, you can get a decent amount done, but it's all got to go good. So all right, and we got that circle done. Corn planting's not quite done, like I said. I got a little bit of dry land we'll do after the Milo, and then Dad's got the other circle at the house we're treating like dry land, so we'll do it then. But that circle's done. It definitely didn't plant as heavy as we needed it to. Our seed tubes aren't counting right or something, because there's 4 bags left on the pickup out of the 58 we should have used. And I mean, there might be a bag or 2 left in the planter still. I mean, we'll know for sure. We're taking it back to the house to kind of clean it off, and then we'll empty it out and switch everything over and hopefully get it brought back down tonight. So we'll know more then exactly how much seed we used. I think we should still be maybe around 32,000 or something. Would have been nice to get it a little heavier. Last year, I'm pretty sure I had it set at the population we wanted to, and we had to use an extra bag or two. So I don't know exactly what the deal is, but I don't know, maybe we need to get a new wiring harness. I don't know. I'm not an expert on stuff like this, but for now, that's probably going to be all. I don't know if I'll video much of switching the planter just because it's still a little windy and awful, and I want to get it done so we can get tractor back down here. But first field of planting 2022 is done. Didn't go too terrible, so get this cleaned out, ready for Milo for the next video. But as of now, that's going to be all. Thank you for watching. Please be sure to subscribe to the channel if you're enjoying the videos and are watching the videos a lot. I'd really appreciate it, and help me get to at least 500, maybe 1,000. I'd love to get to 1,000 quick, but there's going to be plenty of videos coming as we've got a lot more acres to plant, a lot of acres to farm. Then once we get farming done, we'll have a lot of acres to drill to feed. We've had a lot of people talk to us about buying hay, so we might end up having a lot of hay. Hopefully it'd rain and we have a lot of bales to haul, but we've got a decent amount to do, so there should be a lot of videos, and probably about the time we get all that done, wheat harvest is about going to be here. As of now, thank you for watching. That's going to be all. Come back next time. Otherwise, I'm Al McCaffrey here at McCaffrey Farms. Thank you for watching. Be sure to subscribe.